yes. I want that. Oh, I need that. Gots to have that. It's mine.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate. But actually, they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
We have injected ourselves into the civil rights struggle, and we intend to expand it from the level of civil rights to the level of human rights. As long as you fight it on the level of civil rights, you're under Uncle Sam's jurisdiction. You're going to his court expecting him to correct the problem. He created the problem. He's the criminal. You don't take your case to the criminal, you take your criminal to court.
We feel that the problem, number one, of the black man in America is beyond America's ability to solve. It's a human problem, not an American problem or a Negro problem. And as a human problem or a world problem, we feel that it should be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and the United States courts and taken into the United Nations in the same manner that the problems of the black man in South Africa, Angola, and other parts of the world, and even the way they're trying to bring the problems of the Jews in Russia into the United Nations because of violation of human rights. We believe that our problem is one not of violation of civil rights, but a violation of human rights.
Growing higher. We are growing. Prepare yourself for all new explosive information that you will experience in the upcoming Powerhouse documentary from Omar Shabazz, Brother Malcolm X, Diamond Among Men.
Mr. Muhammad, I'm sorry. Would you say flatly that no black Muslims were involved in the shooting of Malcolm X?
I wasn't there, but I don't believe that any of my followers had nothing to do with it at all.
I went along with what was going on. They were saying Minister Malcolm was this, Minister Malcolm was that, he was a hypocrite, and Minister Malcolm was a hypocrite. And I've said some bad things about Minister Malcolm and didn't even know Minister Malcolm. New York couldn't handle the deed of getting rid of Minister Malcolm. So they brought in number 25, which was Newark, which is a whole lot smaller than New York.
He could have made a case, and I believe he would have made a case had he went in front of the UN for reparations.
In New York, you probably had 10 times the amount of Muslims in New York than you had in Newark. But Newark was the dirty worker. They would do the dirty work.
I'm not a gang member. I'm a former Nation of Islam member. And I'd like to say a few things on Malcolm X's behalf, who's no longer with us and can't speak for himself.
I joined the Nation of Islam in New York City, Temple number 7.
These guys was high profile.
Okay.
And if they had attempted to go into the Audubon Ballroom to get Malcolm, that they would have been spotted from the door.
Right away, right. Who was with Wallace, not willingly, he went kicking and screaming, but then he said, you know, I'm not with this no more, and he said he's gonna build the old Nation of Islam back, right?
Over time, realized that there was a lot of irony and a lot of truth in things that Malcolm was saying.
He left us, said he was going for himself. We regret it to have seen Malcolm leave.
And that's why, that's one of the many reasons why I'm attracted to Malcolm X as an example, as a paradigm, as a man, as a brother, and as a human.
The so-called Negro today is what the white society has made him. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is doing a tremendous job of cleaning us up.
This right here, this connection would have brought, I think, our people more together, especially religiously, you know, and culturally.
We went in with Minister Harry to go to Minister Jeremiah's house because Minister Jeremiah wanted the brothers in Philadelphia to come into Harrisburg and train us and teach us how to sell drugs to the community, to the black community. Minister Harry wasn't going for that. Minister Harry was a very brilliant young man, a hard teaching brother. He was fair, stern, but fair.
Malcolm caused me to push myself further to the ultimate, to excellence.
I remember I drove at breakneck speed to get over there, running red lights, and I got there, parked and rushed up to the hotel room.
They called him a hypocrite. You're right. They called him a Benedict Arnold. They called him a turncoat. Right. Heck, I heard them call him a coward. Some Minister Jeremiah said he was soft as cornflakes and milk.
Wow.
But they never called him a liar.
They never acknowledged the fact, or they'll say Malcolm talked bad, he was talking greasy about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He never threatened, from everything that I've seen and heard, he never threatened. Not only did he not threaten the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he didn't threaten anybody.
It was anger management. That's what the Nation of Islam taught. They taught anger management. You don't win wars with scowls on your faces.
A lot of the leaders have let us down in the past, you know? Like, for instance, I love Dr. King, but integration has been our detriment.
Some of the people that are still in the Nation of Islam, they feel that the white man did it, right? Or the FBI did it, or CIA.
What makes Malcolm X a diamond among men? I've never seen or heard of anyone or know of anyone that has had so much impact on us as soul brothers and sisters in this country. In my eyes, he's so sincere and real. That's what I love about Malcolm X.
That's always bothered me, the fact that he didn't get credit for trying to trying to reconcile. And he, almost in every, especially early on, almost in every public utterance, you know, it was obvious that he didn't want any problem.
No.
He didn't want any problem. He said, I believe he said, had they left me alone, I never would have said anything.
America for us right now is the rough. And he was a diamond. He came out of the rough. So yes, he's definitely a diamond among men.
Find out who secretly financed the Nation of Islam. Find out what role Nation of Islam member Sterling X played. Find out how the Nation of Islam cooperated with the white power structure. Find out who the murderers of Minister Harry X were. Find out why Elijah Muhammad's many predictions about a mothership destroying evil white America never took place. Find out why Malcolm's security men protected Mr. Untouchable, Nicky Barnes, the drug lord of Harlem. Find out what crew burned down Mosque No. 7 in an act of revenge for Brother Malcolm. And like in that television restaurant commercial, when Ving Rhames says, "We have the meats," SNIFFY has the receipts. This is the last film SNIFFY will be making about Brother Malcolm. Only a few copies will be made. Get this film before it's banned worldwide, and our studio is raided, and the film is confiscated. I was talking to this brother today, and he started focusing on the word complacency. Complacent, showing smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. To be complacent is to actually be happy with oneself and unconcerned. Do you know anyone like that? I asked him, and his response was, a whole lot of black people are complacent. To support his reply, he brought up the story about frogs in a pan of water. Researchers say that when you put a frog in a pan of boiling water, the frog will quickly jump out. But if you put a frog in tepid water and then turn the water up so that it slowly comes to a boil, the frog will just sit there and boil to death. The frog basically becomes complacent. Does this analogy ring true about black people's condition today in 2022? What has been our reaction to global oppression that started centuries ago when we were brought here against our will? Did we resist? How much did we resist? Or did we slowly adjust to the conditions of this arrangement? Are we still sitting in a pan of water, cool and complacent, unaware of the rising temperature? Are we still adjusting? Should we make like a frog and jump bad? The way things are going, look like it's going to be another long, hot summer. And don't forget to add fall, winter, and spring. As the weather changes, so should we. Are we consistent dummies that can't recognize the continuous momentum of a slow death gradually warming up on our asses? Is it too late to make a move? Technically and vocationally acclimatized into an academy that hinders freedom of expression, that's stamped approved